You're listening to Beauty, Strength, and Dominance, the official podcast of Lingerie Fighting Championships. And now, here's your host, Michael Larkin.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of Beauty, Strength, and Dominance, the official LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships podcast. My name is Mike Larkin, and joining me today is adult star, content creator, LFC fan, and just a hell of a human being, and my friend, Miss Lexy Morgan. How are you, Lexy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. First and foremost, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show, and we were just joking about this beforehand because, folks, we have a lot of beautiful women, work of arts in this thing that we call life and on this planet that we call Earth. I got to say, Lexi, every time I have you on the show, whether you're doing the casual thing, whether you go out the rock in the lingerie, you're always looking mad nice, man. I got to say, you look great.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It was a busy night tonight, so I was like, well, I'm going to keep it casual.
Hey, which is not too bad as well. I got to say, it is doggone cold here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So I just came out rocking with the sweatshirt, the old Gamecocks representing down here. So same on my end as well. But I got to say, comfortability is everything, and everything is comfortable. So first and foremost, I got to say, speaking of comfortable, man, the fannies, got to give you a shout out and kudos. Congratulations. I've been voting. I know a lot of people are. How awesome is that?
I am super excited. Still in shock. But fingers crossed that we come home with the fanny. There's really no words to explain how happy and excited I am for it. So.
Well, first and foremost, with something like whole lotta in the title, number one. But I mean, I look at it like this. First and foremost, number one, whole lotta says a lot about what we get to see with beautiful women in the voluptuosity factor. But number two, that is a prestigious honor. And number three, I got to say, any particular award to pre-nom you or being nominated for, it's very rewarding. And it definitely shows the trajectory of where you are going right now in your career, Miss Lexy Morgan.
Yeah, I mean, after the Fanny Award nomination came out, I know there's been some people who were voting for the XMAs, and I'm like, holy cow, like, I am very honored and humbled by it, so.
I look at it like this, and what I love about how you put it too, first of all, the fact of being humble and everything goes a long way. And I also look at it like this. The term starlet always gets thrown around as well. I think in this case, within your tenure in your career thus far, everybody likes the rising starlets. Everybody likes to see just a lot of the things that are authentic, genuinity, and something that's fresh and new. So you bring a lot of spice of life and you spruce it up a little bit, so to speak. So, I mean, it kind of checks all the boxes, you know?
Right.
And I got to say, speaking of checking out all the boxes, man, we got to put over Exxxotica here, Chi-Town, if you will. You've been doing your thing from Exxxoticas from all around, from everywhere that you've worked thus far, and the travel schedule's just been nuts. The grind never stops. How excited are you for Exxxotica coming up?
Oh my God, it can't come soon enough. Like, I just want it to be here now. I want it to be warmer weather, because usually in April it's warmer up in the Midwest. But I'm so excited. The atmosphere always at Exxxotica is amazing. And now with the Fanny Awards, I mean, that'll be fun. We've just got so much planned, and between the booth and between, meeting new people, meeting new content creators, it's going to be so much fun.
Shout out to Sex Work PR, booth 604, Geo, and every one of the great people at that booth, including Miss Lexy Morgan. Y'all, what I love about y'all, just because of the fact that y'all are my dear friends, but you are probably some of the most hardworking sons of guns with networking and everybody planning a lot of great scenes. Probably one of the most doggone hardworking people I know, and I got to say, it certainly does show. But networking is so important, Lexy, and what we get to see in this fine industry, number one. But number two, the amount of stuff that y'all are going to be creating is going to be, dare I say, bonanza.
Right. The artwork that we're going to be creating. Yes. It's going to be a lot, and it's going to be amazing, and everybody's going to love it.
Can I also say, first and foremost, Miss Lexi Morgan, this is why I love you with the words that you just said. Y'all, I think you heard what she just said. I'm talking about artwork here. One of the things that I'm very much about, and I think you have to look at it like this, is artwork from the adult entertainment industry, from anything in life. You're painting your canvas, number one, but number two, that's the right attitude, and that's really the right lens and visual that you have to have at everything that you do. You have to look at it as an art form, and you're just painting your canvas and applying your craft.
Right. Yeah. And yes, I agree. And being careful with our words at some points, but I mean, the artwork, definitely, it is an art form. I mean, you put a lot of thought into the scene, into what you're going to wear, how you're going to do your hair, if you're going to just go off a script, and what kinds of things do people like to see. So it is a lot that goes into it, and just like painting a canvas. So
I gotta say, first and foremost, to add to the painting your canvas, to make a pop culture reference, Bob Ross, God rest his soul, never looked so good with his happy trees. You know what I'm saying? We're getting that type of art form, but we're amplifying it to the next level. And I look at it like this, to add on to your point, I think it's always about being the best representation. And like you mentioned, the presentation, but also at the same time, too, what I love how you put that is as well, the safe and spectacular, applying your craft safely and in spectacular fashion. Testing so key. You have to have the right group. You have to have the right mindset and the surroundings. And testing is so key.
Yes. Testing, I will say, being in the industry, I feel it is a lot safer than just coming home with some random Joe Schmo from the bar, because you don't know if they have anything. And when you're in the industry or you're a content creator, people are tested to the fullest extent. Like, we get so many different tests that we rule out everything, and nobody does anything until those tests are reviewed by each party. And it's just, I feel it's safe. Nobody gets anything caught. I mean, as far as like that's concerned.
I gotta say, first and foremost, again, I gotta say, every time I talk to you, always pull on the heartstrings and make me smile here, Lexi. This one with the old regular Joe Schmo at the bar. Okay, we'll dive more into that. I like your style. I see where you're coming from, because we mentioned the network and the comfortability side of things. You're around all these people, so you know who you're working with, you know what they're about, and you know what the dealio is. So I mean, like you mentioned, bringing up just the normal Joe Schmo or the local from the bar, whatever. I completely agree with you on those sentiments, because when you're around people in the adult entertainment industry and a fellow content creator, you know them, you're comfortable with them, and number three, you know what you're going to get with them. So it's really all about comfortability and just the overall fact of trust as well.
Right. And, for me personally, I like to communicate with the person that I'm working with beforehand. Like, even if it's just through Twitter, texting, what have you, I like to get to know my person. That way I feel not as awkward when we meet in person. And it's just, like you said, comfortability, and makes me feel good. So
No, I think that's the beautiful part of it. I mean, I take that into account with my work with podcasting. Like, you have to be invested, you're interested, and also at the same time too, you want to know that you can take care of that person from a podcasting standpoint, from everything on the air and off the air. So there's a trust and there's a foundation. So what you're also building is a foundation, and you're also building a relationship in the process at the same time. So you're really covering, again, all layers and on the same basis, but at the same time too, it's a recipe for success. So you're covering the big picture part of everything.
Right.
And I gotta say, speaking of the big picture and everything, I'm part of this. Let's put this into the forefront, man, because speaking of pictures, I gotta put this out there. My goodness gracious. We mentioned last time, you and Christian Triple X, you and Christian have had great one-on-one scenes. You have had, I got to put this on as well. If you ever see a rival sports team, man, we're talking about the Cowboys, we're talking about the Packers, we're talking about the Cheeseheads up in this piece. I got to say, football never looked so good. Y'all had a great scene there. And before we get to the POV, I don't think we mentioned it last time, but we're going to mention it now. What a great way to talk about sports, and as well bring people together who maybe are Packers fans and Cowboy fans. Let's go. That was a hot scene.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so funny, because the Packers actually played that day. And I was outside watching the Packer game, and I think we played the Bears, and we won by a field goal, or we blocked the Chicago Bears field goal, whatever. So, like, being that the Packers won, I was already excited and happy. And yeah, it was my most fun scene that I've had. So I was super excited for that one.
And you two have such great chemistry and synergy for the amount of scenes that you've done thus far. Like the first one, when you're rocking the lingerie, the blue, like the purplish lingerie, which is very sexy, by the way, one of your best attires, ma'am. And number two, you're rocking everything from the Packers and the Cowboys, bringing the football teams and just that overall sportsmanship, pun intended, to the scene. And then you amplify it even more because this one over here does a POV, and we're going to talk about this POV because I watched this not too long ago. You got the stuffed animals rocking on the bed, man, like it's a friggin' just a hotness in the bedroom, and then we get right into the action. Let's talk about this POV because, again, very hot, but number two, I like the creative juices flowing.
Well, thank you. You can give the credit all to Christian when it comes to the creative juices because, I mean, so doing the POV, I was a little... I don't want to say I wasn't uncomfortable by any means. I love Christian. He is such a great guy, and I'm looking forward to working with him again. So the POV is different because you want to talk to somebody, and it's like you're talking to somebody, but then you have to remember, okay, well, no, that I'm talking to them about me and about how things feel for me, and it's kind of like camming, but not in a sense. So it was uncomfortable. Like I didn't know what to say sometimes, but it all worked out in the end.
I see from that standpoint, being the POV point of view side of things and the camming side of things, I see where you're coming from. I think you made up with it with the talk like, hey, you coming on over. It's great to see you. It's been a while. Like you add that little, that conversation there, you add that little gap into it and it works. But I also think it turned into a very hot scene nonetheless. And like you mentioned, his creative juices, it fits because look at it like this. And we'll even amplify it like this. You look at Boy Meets World, and yes, I'm going to go the Boy Meets World route. Well, Topanga, the great Danielle Fishel, we love her. Like when she's in the room, you know what I'm saying? And she's got Corey's jean jacket and the whatnot and stuff. Picture that like drama scene and that overall get together back scene where they're getting together and it has that heightened drama. But imagine that, but into the sexy side of things. Think of it like Topanga, but you amplify it to the sexiness vibes. You know what I'm saying? So you're bringing your surroundings and amplifying it to the best of your abilities.
Yeah. I mean, it was, I would say, out of the 3 scenes that we did that weekend, it would go probably the football one, then the POV, then the third one. I mean, the POV and the first one all 3 of them were so good. I had so much fun. It's so hard for me to pick, but definitely the football one is my favorite.
Well, I got to say the dialogue in that one as well. And all 3, if you guys have not checked it out, very sexy, very keen, and just a lot of great quality, man. I think even for what you mentioned about the POV, you did rock it. And I cannot wait to see your various films and what you do going forward, man, because you're always providing that trajectory on the camera. You've really come into your own.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, I'm going to work with him again, and I'm excited to see what he's got picked out as far as ideas for us. So I can't wait to show you guys all.
We cannot wait to see it, man, because like I said, you're always a delight and you really do know how to excite and ignite, to put in the bluntest of terms. And Lexy Morgan, we got to put this also into the forefront as well. We mentioned the fannies, we mentioned the scenes, but my God, man, intimately pocket pussy vibes, man. I saw a lot of great talents like yourself out there. How nuts is that? Like, how crazy is that? Because I'm seeing you and I've seen all these great content creators. Let's talk about it. How awesome does that feel? There it is.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it is so amazing. It is so cool. I never thought in a million years that, well, A, I'd be doing this, B, I'd be nominated for a Fanny, and now I've got my own pocket pussy. Like, this is insane. And I mean, I know a few people have bought in it already, so that's pretty cool. But I'm excited to see if anybody did buy it and then brings it to Exxxotica, because that'll kind of really show me.
I gotta say, first and foremost, man, I think this is not only really cool, but number 2, it does have the very, dare I say, authenticity and dare I say life form of what we get to see from the beautiful woman, the external side of things, that is you and so many others. So I gotta say that's a great honor for you, number 1. And number 2, I'm really happy that came into fruition for you. I think a lot of the great women are going to see the great product when they all take a look at it.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so, I not only working with Intimately, but Tantally as well. I kind of just started something with them. Actually, funny story is they sent me one of their toys for me to do a review on. And my kids and I came home today, and there was this huge box in front of our door. And I'm like, I didn't order anything that big recently. Like, I'm just waiting for small packages. And I'm opening it up, and it's heavy. And it was this like almost life-size torso. And I'm like, oh my goodness gracious, I wasn't expecting it to be this big. But yeah.
I don't mean to put up the hood and everything, but oh my God. You know what it is? All right, we're going to put it out like this. First of all, that's hilarious. Number two, I look at it like Cisco's daughter, little girl. I'm talking about thong song. I'm taking back there. Daddy, what's this? And she holds up the thong. This is what this is. But that's it. That's level. Oh my goodness. But that is hilarious. That's very funny.
I mean, I could add something to it where my teenage son was like, oh, I know what that is, because he could tell by the brand.
Oh my goodness.
Like, I could tell by ads. And I was like, oh my goodness gracious.
Oh.
I was like, this is why we talk about, like, don't go to these sites when moms might be on there. Don't go there. So yeah, it was fun. We're very open in this house to a certain extent. So
I will say that first and foremost, on the plus side of things, my love to your family and the great support system that is your family. I think that's wonderful, because having the great support system is such a great foundation, and my love to all of y'all. But number two, I look at it like this. First and foremost, I have to say, like I said, the era openness there is awesome, but also at the same time, too, that's also great on your point that you're having another tour review and stuff. So that just amplifies you as well to have that brandness. So that's great business also at the same time.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this one isn't of me yet. Hopefully things go well, that eventually it will get to that point. So fingers crossed, hopefully it'll get there. But for right now, I'm just having fun, enjoying the ride.
I got to say, well, we are on this ride with you. And I got to say, from the first time I had you on the show and first time that I've gotten to know you, from your solo scenes, from everything, from you being in the shower, and then just seeing you really elevate and excite and ignite, I cannot wait to see where the rest of this journey takes you, man. You've really been taking this ride going on full throttle, Miss Lexy Morgan.
Thank you. I'm excited. I can't wait to show you guys. Hopefully the goal for end of this year, beginning of next year is AVN. That's the goal.
Now, I got to say, the style and aesthetic side of things, because we mentioned your wardrobe and how you can rock it both ways, casual on the sexy side of things and the spicy side. I'm very much looking forward to seeing when that does happen, how you rock the just attire, man. I know you're going to probably rock a nice little dress, a nice little spicy attire, man. I can't wait to see the style and aesthetic when that happens.
We'll see. I'm struggling to figure out what kind of dress I'm going to wear for the fannies. So yeah, I don't do well when it comes to dressing up and going out, because I don't like to pick out clothes. Like, lingerie is super easy to pick out. Normally when I come home from work, I just throw on my tank top and a pair of sweatpants. I'll wear jeans for the most part, but going out and dressing up and all that stuff, that kind of scares me, because I'm like, I have no idea what to wear.
First of all, a woman who steals my heart, ladies and gentlemen, the sweatshirt and just everything. I'm right there with you. I'm totally for the casual wear myself. But no, I mean, I concur. I mean, I like a nice little suit, and I got to say, and I got to give a shout out to Papa Lark, because Papa Lark, and same with my mom, every time we go to the events, my Papa Lark can just knock a nice little button down and nice suit in his own right. Well, that's how I am. I think when I go out there, I'm just like easy with the button down and the overall, just overall some comfortability that goes with a nice little suit if I have to. But yeah, I'm more in the camp of you with just nice the sweatshirts and just the pants. It's comfortable, but also at the same time too, it's simple. It's a simple thing, so to speak, Lexy.
Exactly. I mean, I grew up to where my dad, he would wear jeans. Like, we would go to weddings still to this day. My dad is almost 60 years old. He will wear his jeans with his nice button-down shirt, his cowboy hat, and his cowboy boots. Like, that's him dressing up. I've only seen him in a suit 3 times in my life. That was for my wedding, my brother's wedding, and my sister's wedding. So I don't think I'll see him in a suit anytime soon again, ever.
But I gotta say, I always say this with how you rock the wear and how everybody does it for whatever events, man. Just be comfortable, enjoy yourselves, and just have fun. Because at the end of the day, that's what life is. It's all about having fun. And I will say this as of this recording before we move on to our next subject. Happy birthday, Dad. I love you because this week is his birthday, and I love my dad very much. Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate that. And I'll tell him you said that. Thank you. But yes, so family and everything aside and packages at the door. I know what this is. Still probably one of my favorite parts of this show so far. Speaking of something that is also one of my favorites, you, my friend, have been very outspoken and very blunt and very honest, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Besides the fact that we get to see the great content from Miss Sexy Lexy Morgan over here, ladies and gentlemen, you put out a video which I retweeted because everything you said was so very true. And we have to touch upon this because you were very passionate in what you had to say for the short amount of time in your car. Man, people in your area just be judging just about everything, going to get testing for the adult entertainment industry, the Snickers, the laughs. You put out a video, very blunt, very honest. I got to say, I liked it, but you brought a lot of truth to one of the unfortunate parts of people that you just can't judge. They just judge, man.
Yeah. And actually, so after I put that out, I sent a message to the doctor just thanking her for being so nice and not judging me. And first I'll talk about the rant and then I'll get into that portion. Okay. But so yeah, I went and did my normal testing, and I go out into the hallway, and my doctor, her nurse, treating me normal, asking me questions in the room, like actually curious and wanting to learn about what testing we needed done. And I'm out in the hallway waiting for my testing, and there's a nurse and a doctor, I don't know if he was a doctor, but nurse and a provider at the desk. And I could hear them saying, "Oh, well, I didn't realize that type of industry was in our valley or in the valley." And I'm like, okay. And like, I can hear them still talking about it, saying things, kind of laughing and snickering. And I do my thing. And my doctor and her nurse are outside the door waiting for me. And, they're like, "Oh, hey, we'll see you later. Have fun, drive safe. It's supposed to be bad tomorrow because we got a snowstorm the next day." And as I'm walking down the hall past the nurse's station, that nurse and the provider were there, and I could just see them like stare at me as I'm walking out the door. And I'm like, come on now, like, you're 2 times as older, or you're 2 times my age, and you're looking down on me. Like, it happens. Like, how do you think you got here? Your parents had to have had sex at some point in order to create you. Pretty sure you guys have heard of porn and watched some of it. Like, it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, I sent a message to my doctor, and I thanked her for being so calm, or so kind and understanding and not judging. And her thing is that's why we're in this health field. We're in this health field to make people feel comfortable and to to learn to treat people as people. And that really stuck with me because she's true. I mean, she's right. I also work in the health field myself, but she made me feel way more comfortable than even my own primary care doctor did. So, and this was just a random, she's family practice through a different facility, but she just made me feel super comfortable, and I will probably definitely go back to her again. So.
First off, shout out to that doctor, man, because that doctor knows, and I got to say she has the right attitude of making you, again, accommodation and comfortability, making you comfortable and just being an overall rock star and awesome person in her own right. But yeah, it's unfortunate to see stuff like that just because, again, I think the problem is, and I've said this to you, and you and I have had this discussion on air and off air, as many of us have had, it's people just only look at the adult entertainment industry as, there is a camera right there. Fucking happens. And yes, there you go. Fucking happens. Put that on a t-shirt. Fucking happens. And they don't see it for the job and the art form that y'all talk about, because they don't see it from that perspective. They just think it's having sex on camera, and they have that ignorant mentality of just something that they consider to be taboo, when in today's day and age, especially in the year 2025, it's something that's normalized, and everything like we see is more normalized. Like, yeah, sex is sex. This is how we got here. It's evolution. It's a process. Like, get over yourselves, to put it
Yeah, I mean, people are small-minded. It really, it happens. I do live in a smaller community. So, I mean, it's not, how do I say this? Like, there's not many of us, like, within Wisconsin. I've come across at least 3 for sure. And I mean, I've had couples reach out to me that are from Wisconsin, but they're more like hidden and in the closet, and which is okay. I mean, to each their own. Everybody's got their own thing. But yeah, I love doing what I do, and if I get judged for it, so be it. But it's just kind of one of those things that don't make somebody uncomfortable, for being smart, for being safe, I mean, just treat them like a normal person.
I gotta say, to quote Michael Jackson, "That's something about you, baby, makes me want to give it to you. Keep it in the closet." I like your style there. No, but in all seriousness, I look at it like this. No, you're 100% correct. And I think one of the common misconceptions is because people that they see that title, so to speak, and I know how hard you work. I know how many, all you amazing people, how hard you work. But it's the fact that they have that stigma. They probably must be dumbasses. They probably must not have an education in the derpa derpa der. Yes, I use the derpa derpa der. But people just are going to go out of their way to just judge. And it's sad. And I think more people need to be open-minded. And I also look at it like this. I actually had a similar conversation. So to tie it into LFC related, Tommy Bell, who you guys have heard on the LFCfights.com VIP section, who does great work with his drawing and his drawing show that we all work on. So Tommy is well known for drawing the ladies of LFC and so many different creators and so many different models and stuff that people in his hometown of Ohio look at him. Just there's a certain reserved area, and I'm sure there's every area, like you mentioned with Wisconsin and whatnot, that are just like, oh my God, like the women in lingerie or this. How could you? Like, what do you do and draw these things? I'm like, it's a drawing. It's art form. It's fucking people just drawing women. It's models. Think of it of like nude modeling, where you draw them and they're standing still, they're statuesque, what have you. It's an art. Fucking just let it be.
I mean, if Jack can do it to Rose on the Titanic, why can't he?
This woman, oh my God. This woman with the Titanic. Oh my God, that floored me for a second. Nice. I like your style. Beautiful. Oh my goodness, my heart will go on. Gosh darn it! But no, I like that's a beautiful example. That's a great example. Okay, all right now. But no, yes, absolutely. And I think people need to have the eyes of the Titanic over here and everything that goes into what it rightfully is. But yes, that is a great analogy, and that's a great example.
I mean, she gotta draw me. Come on now.
Exactly. Just let it draw. I mean, hell, look at this. Look at friggin' Lionel Richie. Hello. And there's a friggin' statuesque, of the woman, how he sees her and the friggin' woman and everything. It's in popular culture, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's so many naked statues all over the place. What is one person putting it down on paper? It's not any different.
Exactly. And I got to say, everything that goes into putting things on paper, putting it in front of the camera. Folks, we are seeing a lot of great crafts and a lot of great showmanship. And you, my friend, are an excellent showman at what you've been doing thus far, my dear friend. And before we close this out, I got to say, you're always a blast to talk to. Always such fun, such laughs, and just great talks and conversations. I look forward to having you back for another round on this fine podcast. Lexy, it's always a blast. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I have so much fun every time.
Thank you. And a couple final things I want to say before we have you promote the social medias once more. I've been asking a lot of the talents who work with Gio, much like yourself, and a lot of great talents himself. With that, what you've done thus far, and we've been through the entire journey here, Ms. Lexy Morgan, but what are some of your biggest takeaways thus far since you've been in the adult entertainment industry that you could share with a lot of the people?
I think, for me, and it's been the same for me from the get-go, is just be yourself. Just be yourself. Be true, be honest, stick to what you believe in. And you can always be smart and do your research on certain things. It's the only way that you're going to learn. Ask questions if you don't understand something. But yeah, just be yourself, be patient. It all comes with time. It's not going to you're not going to get a quick or get rich quick kind of thing. So yeah.
Beautifully and eloquently said. Patience is a virtue and time is of the essence. And I look at it like this, Miss Lexy Morgan, your time and your essence, put it together, time of the essence, is always a blast and a pleasure and a privilege. So where can we now follow you on the social medias, man? The floor is yours. Go right ahead, Lexy.
Yeah, so I'll keep it pretty simple for you guys. So if you go to sexylexymorgan.com, it will actually take you directly to my Linktree, which will have all of my socials for you. So Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Chatterbait, Sheer, like everything, many vids, loyal fans, OnlyFans. I'm missing one, and I can't think of it offhand. But it's Text Panther. There we go.
Okay. So yes, if you want to follow her on the OnlyFans, the many vids, the socials, the Sex Panther, the Chatterbaits, the this and the that. And Blue Sky as well. Did we mention Blue Sky?
Yes, Blue Sky too. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I gotta say, this woman is everywhere, and you just use the hashtag SLM. Y'all want to know what I'm talking about? Sexy Lexy Morgan. Boom, SLM. That's what's up. But anyway, go out of your way and follow Lexy on all forms of social media. Great follow from your images, from your content, and a little bit of rants on once an occasion as well, like we mentioned in today's forum. You are everything and all that and a bag of chips, my dear friend. And if you want to follow this fine podcast, go to lfcfights.com, the VIP section, where you can see this face, that face, and so many great people on the LFC podcast. Tommy Bellard, Sketchy and Funny, the LFC events from recent LFC 40 Booty Camp 5 and LFC 41 Lingerie Fight Club. Go out of your way and watch the previous events. And as always, folks, like I say with each and every one of these shows, life is an art form where we're all applying our crafts. Continue to apply your craft in amazing fashion. And if you're Lexy Morgan, your heart will go on because she made a Titanic reference, which was awesome. And I will... And I will say this to close the show, as always: beauty, strength, and dominance, the three elements that make women the work of art that they are. And Lexy Morgan, do you have any final words to the peeps to promote to go to Exxxotica? Any final words?
For one, please vote for me for the fannies. I would really appreciate it. 2, come down to Exxxotica, say hi, booth 604, Sexwork PR. We're going to have so many people there, so many beautiful women and men too. Like, just come on down and say hi. That's all I can say.
Beautiful and eloquently said. Definitely go out of your way, say hi, give some hugs, shake some hands, and just have a fun time at Exxxotica. And keep on voting, because I'll be voting. I'll be voting up, there, down, all around. You all got to get it voting. And just check out this Lexy Morgan on all forms of social media. Beauty, strength, and dominance. Lexy Morgan. I include you in those sentiments. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.